Question is for us, basically, are panic builders, are they just slashing prices on new construction? Well, we're going to go over that. Then we're going to talk about ways to best negotiate with the builder, because we will talk about what's important to them. Well, I mean, other than making a profit, which is getting a little bit tighter right now. But we're going to go over all of that. The best part is, again, this is free. Make sure that you subscribe, share the link, and by doing that, it just helps the algorithm to send it out to people who in our local market can make a better business decision. They're made aware of the video, and it's super awesome. We continue to grow each and every week with our subscribers and views and whatnot, and that's super awesome because that just means that this is helping you and helping others. So hey, just remember to share it. Remember to subscribe because we do it every week, and it's just really good, solid metrics. We use very similar metrics. We will sometimes compare ourselves to the national side, and then versus our local side, which really the local side is the only thing that matters. And it was funny reading some of the reports as to what is going on at national level, and it's just inconsistent, with what's going on here. Because we are one of the top 5 sweet spots across the United States, and that's super cool. So congratulations for living in this area, which I think is probably one of the best, personally, but that's just humbly me. All right, let's talk a little bit about new construction and what's going on. So first, there's a big question as to, oh my gosh, George, have you seen what builders are doing right now? Of course I have. I do build homes, and so I am very much in tune with that. And you might, there was a question that was asked by Stephen, and Stephen says, George, why do they always compare new construction? Why do they talk about new construction starts? Why is it always new? Why don't they talk about existing home starts, new on market, this number right here? How come they don't talk about that? Well, because actually new construction starts, 7 out of the 10 different metrics that are done are based on new construction, as far as materials, as far as labor, as far as actual permits and process, actual closings. And when they take a look at that, it also helps with the trend, because remember, if you're in a plat, you're going to look at over existing construction. You're also going to look at anywhere between an 8 and 12% premium. We call it a 10% premium to be in a plat for new construction over existing construction, because it's new, right? New cars carry a higher value than a used car, right? Okay, well, not that you drive your house, but nonetheless, it's the same concept. So when you take a look at that, you are going to get that higher value. Now, you made the very clear distinction when you're in a plat. Yes, because one-off homes or infill homes, say you have an existing neighborhood, somebody takes down a clunker and builds a new house, but you're not surrounded by other new homes, so you're not going to get that 8 to 12% premium. You're probably going to get between 3 and 5% right in that ballpark. Okay, again, depending on supply and demand, but that's very common. You will not get that same premium that you would in a plat. Okay, typically you need 5 or more homes, about that, to consider that to be a plat, to be a community in which then you have price support. And price support is one of the key things for builders. Okay, when they do a plat, one of the most important elements for them, other than appearance, right, is pricing stability, maintaining the stability or the floor of the price of that community. Because naturally, they don't want a community that's going downward in trend. That doesn't make the people who bought in the beginning very happy if they bought at the top end. Everybody else is buying below them. So maintaining price support is super important with builders. So if you consider the concept that really, what are builders willing to offer you, but maintain that price support? Well, right now they're doing interest rate buydowns as an alternative to reducing a price. They really don't want to reduce a price, but they will offer you incentives. Okay. Now, the takeaway to that right now is that a lot of builders are waiting until a home is finished before they put it out in the market. And the reason is that the product availability and the pricing and the labor has been so erratic the last 18 months that they're scared to do so, because there's a number of builders, I should say a lot. There's a number of builders kind of got a little burned. They pre-sold some homes, and then all of a sudden construction costs and everything else, and all of a sudden they're losing money. They got to pay money to close, and that can be a real takeaway for a builder or anybody, right? So they've been holding off, but normally you're able to get upgrades. You're able to get additional features. Well, the additional features on a finished home becomes a lot more difficult, and so one of the things that they're doing now is offering better rate buydowns. Okay, so they'll say, hey, par pricing today is 5.25 or 5.35. However, they'll buy your rate down to like 4 3/4. Okay, that might be a $15,000-$20,000 difference to buy that rate down, and that might be a better negotiating term versus trying to get your price down, because you're going to have more pushback on price, because if they reduce that price on that home, then that is harder to justify maintaining that plat integrity through future homes, and so they would rather give you incentives. So if you really want to change the outcome, especially if you're going to be in your home 7 to 10 years, if you're going to be in your home 7 to 10 years, statistically proven, even through the debacle of 2008, even through that major downturn, okay, or the Great Recession, if you'd have held your home, even if it was in the middle, at the beginning, at the end, didn't much matter, 7 to 10 years, you made money on your home. There you go. Historically, we double in home values every 7 to 10 years. And some people say, George, that there's no way that can continue. Well, they've been saying that for 30 years. And it keeps happening. All right. So if you have questions, let us know. But if we just take a look at, we'll use the magic board here as Mo likes. If we take a look at some of our numbers, if we look at 2022 versus 2021. All right. Understand that's year over year, and that's going to give us a really good metric. But then I also roll it into 2019. 2019 was a normal market. Why? Because we didn't have that massive interest rate increase, okay? That massive interest rate increase had a massive issue as far as creating volume on market, as far as speed of the market, and basically what is the cost of a home purchase. That had a massive impact. Well, heck, we went up 2.7% year over year. Well, that's almost double the rate. It was just shy of that, right? So when you consider that, of course, some things pulled out. In fact, Lawrence Yun from the Association of Realtors, super awesome guy. Super awesome guy. You got to listen to him. He is awesome. But anyway, he says inflation has eased a bit in July, going down from 9.1% in June to 8.5%. He believes inflation may have peaked. I tend to side with him on this one. And the worst sky-high prices should be behind us. Maybe. Depends on some of the craziness that the admin is looking at right now. Yoon emphasized that the current environment should result in 30-year mortgage rates falling to under 5% in the months ahead. Now, if you remember, a couple of months ago, I said, listen, monitor this, because the feds, hey, they're doing exactly what they said they were going to do. We predicted everything that's going to happen, and I said in September, they're probably going to do a 0.75% or 75 basis points increase on the Fed rate, which has nothing to do with mortgages, okay? But by doing so, they slow down, they rip off that Band-Aid to get inflation under control, slow it down. It is called, your property home value preservation. okay? Your retirement funds preservation, okay? And as they continue that increase on those rates, we're actually going to see investors pulling back in some arenas, and we will see interest rates start to do a little bit of a drop. Q1, I think we'll be back into the super high fours, maybe the low fives, but more than likely we're going to hit the high fours to mid fours, and I think that's going to be very, very advantageous. And we're going to see buyers come back. And I think the spring market is going to be, well, pretty good, all things considered, okay? When we talk about Fannie Mae, which again comes back to these numbers, right? Fannie Mae said the continued expectation of the real, no, not what the admin is saying right now, the real GDP, okay, growth will be negative beginning in 2023. And again, that's why I think we're going to see better interest rates, right? Because investors are going to start pulling back and going into more conservative bonds, mortgage-backed securities, 10-year treasuries, which then will increase their values, which will lower interest rates, okay? It's due to the combined effects of tighter monetary policy weighing on businesses, okay? That's the Fed rates, increasing the cost of funds. That's what they control. Remember, the Feds control what banks lend to each other, your car loans, your business loans, your home equity line of credits, your HELOCs, right? Credit cards, all of those things, that's what they control. And as that increases, you start to see some of that pullback, right? All right. Let's see. Residential investments are still elevated. Inflation weighing on consumer spending. Of course, the inflation as everything goes up. Heck, when you see gas prices go up the insane amounts, even though they've been coming back down again. When you see your cost of food and your groceries, up anywhere between 11 to 22%, depending on what you're buying. That's pretty crazy, okay? That means you're taking dollars out of the pocket where you have less to spend. Well, naturally, people buy less. And that's what the whole point is, that people buy less, they do less, and that brings that demand back down again. That they call it crazy market spending, brings it down to a normal level, which then things start to level out, and then we get and maintain a healthy market. So let's talk about that. So 2022 over 2021, and we're talking about year to date, meaning that we're going from Jan 1 to August 27th. Let's compare apples to apples here, okay? So the actives from 20 to 21 were actually, homes available is up 104, almost 105%. That's only 900 homes, just to make sure that we understand real numbers. So we're not talking about tens of thousands of homes across the Northwest MLS, and it's residential only, okay? The entire Northwest MLS we're talking about here. The entire half of Washington State. We're up 900 homes year over year. That's pretty small, okay? New homes on market, we don't have as many homes on market year over year, but only by 500 homes, okay? When we come down here, pended are down, that's about 1,600 homes. So we have 1,600 homes less that are under contract than we did year over year at this point, right? Solds are down about 1,200 homes. Okay. But let's compare that to a normal market. 2019 was a normal market. So when we come over here, again, funny enough, but look at this. 2022 actually has less homes available than they did in 2019. Funny enough, by 900 homes. Well, isn't that strange? Not really. New on market's down 19.4% or 2,800 homes. That is totally expected, right? Not only did buyers or builders start to slow down because of product availability, recent pricing, buyer pullback, that's just common sense, right? Over here, pended are down 14.4% or 1,500 homes. So we're still not meeting what we did in 2019. Okay. Then down here, number of sales is down over 2019 by 25 homes. Okay. That's pretty small potatoes when you consider, when people say, oh my gosh, when you look at these numbers, then you come over here and you look at these numbers, you're like, oh, that's not that bad. No, this is pretty normal. okay? And what's funny is our interest rates are still better than it was in 2019. Isn't that interesting? So you have better interest rates today. You do have a lot less homes to choose from, okay? Technically, even over 2019, but we're still plugging along pretty good. We're only 25 homes off from what we did in 2019. If I had that chart, I could show you how the inventory has been so much higher historically than it was the last 2 years, and people just they have forgotten what our normal market is. Okay, and in fact, here's one of the most key messages for you to understand today. All right, a slowdown, okay, in home price growth doesn't necessarily mean homes are going to be more affordable. Okay, just because we actually have a slower growth doesn't mean that's going to reduce and drop the value of a home. Let's take this. From Jan 1 to August 27, the median price in 2021 for new construction throughout the Northwest MLS. Oh no, this was just King County. I had to do just King County's numbers on this one. Just King County was basically $800,000, $799,975. Okay, that was the median price in King County in 2021. Same area, again, Jan 1 to August 27th, King County only, residential only, 909,998, basically 910,000. Okay, so when you take a look at this, just because buyers are pulling back and our market is slowing down doesn't mean that prices necessarily are taking a crash, dive, and dump, because they're not. Yes, we're seeing a lot of builder incentive. Why? Because people still look at price. Price is still a key factor. It is the first impression, okay? But there are alternatives that they will look at to make things happen. Now remember, we said last week that really what was going to start to happen is that we were going to continue over the next 2 weeks with our current, surge of buyers coming in, pendants staying at a higher level. And then as we hit our trifecta, we've got Labor Day, we have students getting back in school, we have last minute vacations. The end of August, it's really going to slow down. We're getting there. But look at this. Pendant still outperforming what's coming on market. Normal. This is going to flip-flop. This is going to change. Okay? Solds are always looking in the rearview mirror. These numbers are going to continue to rise, and then they're going to start to fall off. They're going to rise again. Because remember, most of September becomes part of a real estate ghost town. Great time for buyers. Sellers tend to, get a little edgy sometimes because, the market changes. Okay, it just slows down. Pricing and incentives and getting your, home out there to the public, getting eyeballs on your home is absolutely critical, right? You know the statement. Putting your home in the MLS is not marketing. Okay, remember that. So as we go through, we take a look at year over year. We're up, 110%. New is only 0.8, okay, which is, I think it was just a couple of homes. Pendant are down 14.7 year over year, and solds are down 13.6 year over year. If I compare those to 2019 numbers, our numbers are up. That's pretty awesome. When we come over here, just looking at the month of August over July, it's what, the 27th? It's 27th, so we're looking at the numbers from the 26th, okay? So inventory is up 3.8. New homes coming on market, it's down 7.6%. Then, of course, we've got 16.2% more homes pended in August than in July, and sales are up 8.1%, and that will continue. We'll see that progression into September, and then we'll see it fall off for a little bit. Okay, totally normal. These numbers are absolutely looking fabulous. So the question is, when we get back to it, are builders absolutely slashing prices? No, they're not. Now, are they adjusting to removing escalations and getting back to the base price of what a home should be? Yes, they are. Now, are some builders a little bit late in the game? Sure. Are some projects still trying to maintain plat integrity and offering different incentives? Absolutely they are. And in fact, one of the builders that said that they were no longer going to pay real estate companies at all, because, they didn't need them anymore. That didn't last very long because now they're offering to bring agents back into the mix because that's where 98% of buyers are. Hey, listen, you're going to have your folks out there that can do it on their own, feel they can do it on their own, and they do it on their own. There are a lot of hiccups today versus what there were 10, 15 years ago. But most people, when they're about to make the most expensive investment in their family and in their retirement, people want an advocate. And that is why people work with agents. They want to make sure they're getting really great advice and feedback. Okay. That is one of the greatest things that we see with our clients. And hopefully if you're out there and your agent is giving that great feedback also, because that's what you need. Not that, make sure that you're not a dollar. Make sure they don't look at you as that, the Warner Brothers, that big pork chop walking along, but you're that big dollar sign. Okay. That's not what you want to be. You want to make sure you're getting some solid feedback, solid information, some really good metrics. Make sure you're making a good business decision. All right. If you have any questions, hey, make sure that you subscribe. We answer questions within 30 minutes, except for on Sunday. Love the questions. That's what prompted today's show with a lot of the new construction, because people were asking about new construction and what should they do and how do you approach a builder? What are the best ways to maximize your dollar? We just went over that. Look for upgrades and look for rate buy down type incentives. Do not bang on price. Bang on other elements that better you for price. As I tell folks in real estate, even the ones that said that, hey, not fortunately not my clients, other people I've talked to said I overpaid for my house. Time heals, and again, 7 to 10 years, you're gonna be just fine. If you're gonna sell next year, yeah, you might run into a hiccup. Since we all agree that 2023 is going to be a challenging market, 2024 it's gonna be a little bit different. Listen, here's the thing. Even for homes, when we give it perspective, right? The last time we had a double-digit appreciation, that was followed by 7 years of single-digit appreciation, which is a normal, right? We have our boom, and then that lasts for a little bit, and then that tapers off, and then we get single-digit appreciation for the next few years, and then it slows down again. It's a normal cycle. So don't think just because we're going to hit single-digit appreciation, probably only 4% next year, that, oh my gosh, it's horrible. That's not the case. Just understand that. And you need to bring it back into perspective, because 2024, I think, is going to be a pretty good market. Subject to maybe some of the craziness out there. But anyway, in the meantime, I will see you guys in the next video. It's an absolutely beautiful day out there again. Stay safe. All the best to you and your families. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care.